Most people believe their net worth is the number on a bank statement. They are profoundly mistaken. This is a debate with no easy answer, a quiet war fought in boardrooms and back alleys between pragmatists and idealists. Brilliant, successful people occupy both sides with total conviction, one arguing that cash is the only real measure of power, the other insisting reputation is the only currency that truly compounds. Where do you stand? By the end of this, you might question your own position. The argument for reputation is an argument for playing the long game. It treats trust as capital. This is the world of handshakes that are more binding than contracts, of opportunities that appear from a network you've cultivated for a decade. Imagine a serial entrepreneur who just had a venture fail spectacularly. The venture optimized for cash might find their phone calls going to voicemail, their partners feel burned, their employees feel used. They have to start from scratch. The entrepreneur who optimized for reputation, even in failure, made sure their investors were informed, their employees were cared for, and their suppliers were paid. They took the hit. When they decide to start their next company, their phone calls get answered. The first call. They can raise a new fund on the strength of their name, because the people with capital know that even if the venture fails, the person will not. This reputational capital buys something money cannot. The benefit of the doubt, it's the skilled plumber who is booked 6 months solid with no advertising, because every previous client becomes a salesperson for them. It's the manager whose team will work through the weekend during a crisis, because they know the manager has protected them in the past. These people are playing an infinite game. Their goal is to keep playing, to stay in the network, to build relationships that generate opportunities indefinitely. They might accept a smaller profit on one deal to ensure a second, third, and fourth deal with the same partner. This approach is about being long-term greedy. It's the quiet accumulation of goodwill that pays dividends in ways a spreadsheet can never capture. When a crisis hits, money can buy solutions, but trust summons allies. That sounds convincing. It's a noble, appealing way to view the world, but there is a very sharp problem. What happens when your reputation, which took you 20 years to build, is destroyed in 20 seconds by a lie? Welcome to the other side of the debate. The side that argues cash is king, queen, and the entire royal court. This perspective sees reputation as a fragile, subjective, and ultimately unreliable asset. Your good name exists only in the minds of others. It can be poisoned by a rival, misunderstood by the public, or erased by a change in social norms. A single viral video taken out of context, a false accusation that spreads on social media, a negative review amplified by algorithms, and the asset you spent a lifetime building evaporates. The restaurant with a decade of 5-star reviews can be bankrupted by one unverified claim of food poisoning that goes viral. Its reputation is zeroed out. The bills, however, remain. In this world, cash is the only bedrock. It is objective, liquid, and fungible. $1 million is $1 million, whether people think you're a saint or a monster. It pays for lawyers to fight the smear campaign. It keeps the lights on while the storm passes. It allows you to survive. The person who prioritizes cash operates on a simple, brutal principle: security first. They rely on enforceable contracts, clear deliverables, and verified payments. Their world is transactional because the alternative, a world based on something as fickle as human opinion, is too dangerous. When your company is about to go under, who has more power? The beloved founder with a sterling reputation and an empty bank account, or the ruthless operator who has alienated partners but has 6 months of payroll in cash? The bank doesn't foreclose on your reputation, and yet the purely transactional player walks a lonely road. A life optimized for immediate cash extraction leaves you with a network of mercenaries, not a community of partners. They are with you only as long as you can pay. When a bigger opportunity arises, or a better offer comes along, they are gone. The moment your cash flow falters, your world collapses because there is no stored goodwill to cushion the fall. You have extracted all the value from your network. You have none left for yourself. That leads to a fundamental blindness. The truth, as usual, is more complicated than either side admits. The debate between reputation and cash is really a debate about which game you are playing. Game theory gives us a powerful lens for this. Consider the prisoner's dilemma. 2 partners in crime are caught and separated. If both stay silent, they each get a light sentence. If one confesses and betrays the other, the confessor goes free and the other gets a heavy sentence. If both confess, they both get a medium sentence. In a single one-time game, the rational choice is always to betray your partner. It guarantees you avoid the worst-case scenario. This is the world of the cash-first pragmatist. A one-time interaction. Maximize your personal gain. But what happens if the game is played over and over with the same partner for an unknown number of rounds? This is the iterated prisoner's dilemma. Suddenly, the math changes completely. The most effective strategy is a simple one called tit for tat. You start by cooperating. Then, you simply copy your partner's last move. If they cooperate, you continue to cooperate. If they betray you, you betray them in the next round. Then you return to cooperating. This simple strategy of conditional cooperation, of reciprocity, builds trust. It creates a shadow of the future that hangs over every decision. You cooperate now because you know you will have to face this person again tomorrow. This is the world of the reputation-first player. They are building a pattern of reliable behavior that encourages others to cooperate with them. Our entire economy, our social lives, are a massive, interconnected, iterated game. The problem is that we often don't know if we're in a one-time game or an iterated one. Is this client a long-term partner or a one-off transaction? Is this job a career or just a gig? The person who incorrectly assumes it's a one-time game and acts ruthlessly burns a bridge they might have needed later. The person who incorrectly assumes it's a long-term game and acts with generosity can be exploited by a player who knows they will never see them again. The master player understands which game they are in at all times. This dynamic has been supercharged by technology. Your reputation is now a number, a score, an Uber rating, a Yelp review, a credit score, a follow account. This quantification makes it feel more tangible, more like cash. A high rating unlocks opportunities. A low rating can lock you out of the economy. A driver with a 4.5 rating gets fewer rides than one with a 4.9. One is a hobby, the other is a career. In this sense, reputation has never been more directly monetizable, but this very system creates terrifying vulnerabilities. These scores can be manipulated. A competitor can buy fake negative reviews. A political group can organize a digital mob to tank your social credit. The same technology that makes reputation a tradable asset also makes it an incredibly volatile one. It's like building your house on an earthquake fault line. The view is amazing. The risk is total. Perhaps the ultimate case study in the conversion of reputation to cash happened in the darkest days of the 2008 financial crisis. Lehman Brothers had vanished. The global financial system was on the verge of collapse. Goldman Sachs, one of the most powerful investment banks in the world, was on the ropes. They needed capital, but more than that, they needed a signal of confidence that would stop the panic. So, they made a phone call. They called Warren Buffett. Buffett agreed to invest $5 billion in Goldman Sachs. The terms were extraordinary. He received preferred stock paying a 10% annual dividend forever. He also received warrants to buy another $5 billion of common stock at a fixed price. It was, by all accounts, one of the greatest deals in modern financial history. Why did Goldman agree to such punishing terms? Because they were not just buying Buffett's money, they were buying his reputation. The news that Warren Buffett, the symbol of sober, long-term, trustworthy investing, was backing Goldman sent a powerful message to the market. This bank is solid. The panic subsided. Buffett didn't just invest cash, he invested his name. He converted decades of accumulated reputational capital into an unprecedented financial return. His reputation wasn't just an asset. It was his primary weapon, deployed at the moment of maximum leverage. He had spent 50 years building an asset that nobody else had, and in the moment of crisis, he was able to name his price. That is the ultimate power of trust. It allows you to write your own terms when everyone else is just trying to survive. This brings us to the core of the issue. It is not about reputation versus money. It is about the exchange rate between them. Every action you take is a transaction. Sometimes you spend money to build your reputation, like a company investing in better materials or customer service. Other times, you are tempted to cash in your reputation for a financial gain, like cutting a corner to save on costs. We all have a personal exchange rate. For some, a small amount of money is enough to justify a small breach of trust. For others, no amount of money can compensate for the loss of their good name. That exchange rate defines your character, and it is only ever truly tested in a crisis. So what do you think? The world of pure reputation is vulnerable, naive, and easily exploited. The world of pure cash is isolating, transactional, and ultimately brittle. One builds a community that can weather storms, the other builds a fortress to hide in. One plays for tomorrow, the other plays for today. Most of us are navigating the space between, trying to figure out which game we are in and what the stakes truly are. When the pressure is on and the choice is between your balance sheet and your integrity, which way do you lean? Where do you draw the line? In a real crisis, when the choice is between your good name and your survival, which one do you let burn?